What do you think would happen if you combine some of the current titans of shooter games? Overwatch, Fortnite, Valorant? Well, I think you'd get whatever this is. This is Strinova, a competitive shooter developed by Chinese company iDreamSky. It's a third-person hero shooter that's decided to try and mix up the scene. Unfortunately, I've barely gotten to play the game during this next fest, but I still managed to have an absolute blast despite joining in the last 3 days. There's multiple ways to enjoy playing this game, both casually and competitively, and I think that it's probably my favorite shooter game there is right now. Sorry, Apex. As you start to play this game, you'll get this feeling of familiarity. You start to notice that the shooting's similar to Fortnite, and the agent selection might remind you of Overwatch or Apex Legends. Plus, there's a sprinkle of Valorant. But you'll have to stick around and watch the rest of the video for why that's here. Now first, let me introduce you to this. This is Stringify. It's Strinova's primary gimmick. Every character has the ability to turn into paper on command. This thing's got its fair share of uses. Wall climbing? Gotcha covered. Fitting between walls? Easy peasy. Gliding? Done. Dodging bullets? Yeah, you can do that too. Stringify is the thing I love the most about Strinova right now. Not only are the maps in this game modified to allow for smart usage of these gimmicks, but shootouts get more engaging and interesting as well. This game has a slower time to kill than other competitive shooters like Counter-Strike or Siege, so you'll be encouraged to evade enemy fire to maximize your chances of winning a gunfight. You can strafe and jump around like you would in other games, or you can stringify to go paper thin and dodge incoming fire. Look at this, you go 2D. Yeah, your anime waifus are still 2D. Huh. Actually, I haven't spoken about the anime graphics yet. Anyways, what's an anime game without anime girls and boys? Right now, there are 15 agents, which are divided into 5 roles. Duelists, excelling in gunfights. Sentinels, locking down zones. Controllers, disrupting terrain. Vanguards, providing intel. And supports, healing and buffing your teammates. Each of these agents have their own active, passive, and ultimate skills to play into their roles, as well as their own primary weapon. Some have ARs, while others have snipers, or SMGs. So, who do you pick to main? Unfortunately, it's not so simple. In both competitive game modes, players are set to the attacking team or the defending team. The attackers are limited to playing agents from the Scissors faction, while the defenders must pick agents from the POS faction. There's also a third faction, Urbino, which can be played on both sides as well. Unless you choose an agent from Urbino, it's not possible for you to be a one-trick. Sorry guys. To help you decide your main, I'm going to be going over the 2 competitive game modes that are currently in the game, Escort and Demolition. Escort is a 5v5 mode where the attacking team is tasked with moving a slow vehicle to the other team's side of the map within the time limit. The other team must prevent them from doing so. Standing near the vehicle as an attacker will move it forward, but as a defender, the vehicle will not be able to be moved. If the vehicle is not moved in a set amount of time, it'll begin rolling backwards. When the attackers manage to get the vehicle to a checkpoint, multiple things will happen. Firstly, the spawn points of both teams will be moved, and additional time will be granted to the attackers, allowing them to keep the game going and continue escorting the vehicle. Next, the vehicle will stop moving, and will not be able to be pushed for a short amount of time. During this time period, attackers near it will gain damage immunity, and defenders will be pressured to back away from the cart and set up defenses in the next section of the map. Escort follows the rules of a similar game mode commonly referred to as payload, like from Team Fortress 2 or Overwatch. Unlike those games, however, you'll gain something called energy points after playing for the objective or terminating enemies. You can spend them on upgrades for your weapon or abilities to improve your combat effectiveness. These upgrades last until the end of the game, so there's no need to repurchase your armor after it's depleted. It's important to know what upgrades you can take, so pick your agent carefully. Something else to consider is what map you're about to play on. Thankfully, you'll recognize the 2 escort maps in the game if you've played Overwatch before. This is King's Row, and this is Watchpoint Gibraltar. They're disappointingly very close copies, but I personally don't mind it very much. This way, I can learn about Strinova's core mechanics without having to worry about if there's going to be a death trap when I turn a corner. I honestly don't think there's too much to talk about when it comes to the implementation of Escort and Strinova, so on to the next one. I guess there's that. It's so annoying. Alright, I'm moving on. Demolition. The part you're probably waiting for. It's another 5v5 mode where the attacking team must deploy a device at one of the marked locations on the map. It's Valorant. Counter-Strike. Before the round begins, you'll have time to set up. Defenders get the chance to set up strong positions and use their abilities to defend the point, while attackers are able to strategize and prepare the assault. During this time, players are also able to purchase upgrades with energy points gained from the previous round. Unlike the origins of this game mode, you do not need to repurchase anything, and will always spawn in the round with all of your previous upgrades, as well as your chosen grenades. Additionally, choosing certain combinations of upgrades from the menu will unlock your agent's special passive abilities. The first one is easy to obtain and usually is a small improvement for your agent. However, the second and third upgrades are interchangeable and usually impact your gameplay heavily. These 2 upgrades cannot be equipped at the same time, but can be swapped between rounds. My advice is to pick whichever one you think will help you the most for the current round. During the round, reducing your health to 0 won't terminate you. Instead, you'll be in a knocked down state and begin crawling. You only have a short amount of time to be revived by a teammate, so if a res seems unlikely, position yourself so you can relay as much info to your team as possible. Communicate with your teammates to figure out who's playing what role and coordinate with each other to achieve victory. Halfway through the game, the sides will swap and you'll be given the chance to change agents. Everything about the game state except for the round count will be reset. If you're losing, this is your golden opportunity to take the game back, and if you're winning, make sure not to loosen the pressure you've put on the other team. Just because the numbers seem tipped against you, that doesn't mean you can't snatch victory away from your opponents. Remember, giving up and surrendering early means that you forfeit the possibility that you can take the game back. Unless you just don't have the time, I highly recommend you just play the entire game out. And even if you lose, you at least lose less than if you surrendered, especially in a ranked setting. I've just been jumping from topic to topic in this video, so I think now's a pretty good time to wrap it up. I haven't ever made a video like this before, so if you like this kind of video and want to see more of it, consider subscribing. I've got plans to hopefully make more videos on this game when it comes out, and I seriously cannot wait for the day that Strinova gets released globally. Well, anyways, if you're watching this video the day it came out, I'm streaming in a few hours. Come visit and say hi at twitch.tv/Zurudu. And for a quick message for my regular viewers, weird timing, I know, half anniversary kind of premieres on the 24th. Alright, cool, thanks. That's all for now. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!